My name's Steve Woody, and I've seen the Brown Mountain Lights. When I was growing up as a kid in Burke County, my mom and dad would never let me stay out of school except when I got to go hunting one day a year with my dad on Brown Mountain. So that leads me to the story in 1961 when my dad and I were on top of the mountain and experienced the lights close up and at hand. We were there very early on a November morning. It was in the 20s and sleeting very hard, and the reason we were there so early is my dad and his brother were very successful at deer hunting early on. There wasn't many deer in the western North Carolina at that time, and there were people who actually camped at the base of the mountain, and as they came out each year with these deer draped across the hood of their vehicle, you might say, the following years they started following them up the mountain. So we would leave home at 3 or 3:30 in the morning to get there very early before they ever got up out of bed. So that puts us on the top of Brown Mountain on the very back side at approximately 4:30 in the morning, again very cold and sleeting very hard. As we were sitting there in the warm truck, killing time, waiting for time to go down into our hunting area, my dad said to me, "I guess we didn't leave early enough." And I replied, "Why is that?" He said, "I see headlights coming up the mountain." And so as I turned to look out the back window of the truck, he immediately replied, "I don't know what that is, but it's not a vehicle, because there's no way a vehicle could be in the area where those lights are." There were two lights, and you could see that they illuminated quite a large area around them. And as they came closer to us, it was a very calming, very unusual experience. Neither of us were alarmed. Neither of us spoke. But when we first saw the lights, they were approximately 700 to 800 yards away, and at the closest point about 50 yards. So we got to experience several minutes of these lights. They looked like they were definitely traveling somewhere. They were traveling together but independently. They were approximately 4 to 6 feet in diameter, perfectly symmetrical, and had a three-dimensional effect to them. They put off a very soft and pleasing orange light, and they traveled 12 to 15 feet off the ground, and they would actually float and move independently. They approached us right to left in a diagonal pattern, and as they came across in front of us, the first light, which was further away, actually went down over the edge of the gorge, and as it went down to the gorge, of course it lit up the top of the trees and then cast a shadow behind it, and shortly thereafter the second one followed suit. And again, it was about 50 yards in front of us when it disappeared, going down over the gorge cliff and down the face of the incline there, actually in the area where we were going to go hunting. We sat there for a few minutes, and my dad said to me, "What do you think of that?" And I replied, "I don't know, what do you think?" And he immediately said, "I think we've been in the woods with the Brown Mountain Lights." So we went on to hunt about an hour later, and really didn't see any deer that day. But what we received that day was a lot better than harvesting a deer. So I was happy that I got to experience this situation. I've never met anyone who actually has been in the woods with them, but I can tell you it's as vivid in my mind today as it was in 1961.